Let's go live to our Washington correspondent, Annelise Nielsen now. She's live in New York for us. What a morning, Annelise.
Look, this was a scene that no one ever thought they'd see in our lifetimes. The President of the United States, formally arraigned on criminal charges here in the Manhattan Criminal Court. Donald Trump came in. There were supporters in the square opposite the court, as well as those supporting the arraignment of Donald Trump and the conviction that they hope will follow. Donald Trump didn't say anything as he left the building, didn't say anything going in either. There was another opportunity in the corridor outside the courtroom. A number of journalists were let in a ballot after they lined up overnight to get a ticket to be allowed in, and there was a potential moment for him to speak, but he didn't say anything, saving it all for his speech tonight. This is going to drag out for a very long time. The next hearing will be in December, but today we found out the key facts against Donald Trump, according to the prosecution, in that we learned that there's 34 counts on this indictment, and there's allegations coming from the district attorney in this case that he fraudulently recorded these payments to Stormy Daniels as hush money that should have been recorded. It was recorded as legal payments, but it should have been recorded as something else.
As part of this scheme, Donald Trump and others made 3 payments to people who claimed to have negative information about Mr. Trump. To make these payments, they set up shell companies, and they made yet more false statements, including, for example, in AMI, American Media Incorporated's business records. One of the 3 people that they paid to keep quiet was a woman named Stormy Daniels.
Laura, this is going to be an extraordinary operation just to continue to have this trial. The streets were shut down around the court complex by the Secret Service. Donald Trump had a special envoy taking him from Trump Tower down here. He's quoted some numbers around the number of police officers he claims were on standby. I don't think we've been able to verify that yet. It does seem quite high from what you'd expect, but it was a huge operation. If we're talking about this trial happening, it could go for up to a month. It's going to happen potentially right around the primaries, which is a nightmare scenario for Republicans who want to move on to a different candidate. And then the question is, what exactly are they going to prove? Here they've said 34 counts of these fraudulent business transactions.
In my remarks, I mentioned a couple of laws, which I will highlight again now. The first is New York State election law, which makes it a crime to conspire to promote a candidacy by unlawful means. I further indicated a number of unlawful means, including more additional false statements, including statements that were planned to be made to tax authorities. I also noted the federal election law cap on contribution limits.
Laura, I'm not quite sure where I got cut off there, but this is a Class E felony. It's the lowest class of felony in New York law, and so one of the questions here is if they pursue this, it's going to be quite a long time, quite a lot of resources, and what are they hoping to get out of it but a record of a conviction against Donald Trump. For a Class E felony and a first-time offender, it would be extremely unlikely there'd be any suggestion of jail time were he to be found guilty. One of the bigger risks now is if he breaches any court order coming from this. There's no suggestion of a gag order today, but one could come in the future. That would be the kind of thing where there could be a penalty against Donald Trump. But this does have the potential to be very drawn out and messy.
Certainly does. Annelise, you will not be too far away. We're watching these live pictures in Florida. We'll speak to you very soon.